I seen your little puppy back there with this little face.
She's over here trying to freaking get all kinds of attention. Hello.
Looks like we're live, everybody.
We are live. We're still.
So such an exciting beginning here.
Yeah.
Stefan, did we lose you, man?
No, hold on one second. Sorry, there was I created a feedback loop with
my God.
Many of windows that I have going on.
We have technical difficulties,
but I'm here,
everybody.
Technical difficulties. We're trying to figure out Superhouse Live, but we're here. We made it. I know the links right now are pretty confusing. So those of you who do end up here, that's great. Then you work hard for what you gain out of life, and you deserve it. So we're here. Welcome to Superhouse Live. I'm Wolfie, aka Stefan, as you've known, but you know things change. And I'm joined, as always, by Andrew. Say what's up.
Hello.
And
why am I not popping up?
Hi.
Hangouts is prioritizing our visuals. Currently, we're trying to get it so we can all be on screen at once. And there's all this like encoding and channel feeds and all these things that we're trying to connect together. But, we'll get there. Currently, we're just doing, as we've always done, just like a hangout session for when we'd record the podcast. But now we're just, we're kind of winging it in this Hangouts Live. So thank you for joining us. If you are joining us, I'm monitoring the feed. Please jump in on the chat if you got anything to say to us. If you want to curse us out or anything, please feel free.
Don't do that. I'm fragile.
We're all fragile, so don't do that.
It's a Superhouse safe space, bro.
But tonight we're going to be doing, I found a few little news tidbits from over the weekend that seemed pretty cool. I'm going to run through a few of those stories, and then we're going to go ahead and talk about the Aladdin trailer that just dropped with the genie reveal with Will Smith's genie.
Oh,
we'll get there. Don't say anything.
Mercy.
Don't say anything yet. We'll get there.
I didn't. I just made a noise. I'm sorry.
That's true.
What is it?
Sorry.
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 And then, I think Matty wanted to say a few words about the man who killed Hitler and then the Bigfoot, starring Sam. What's his name?
Elliot. Oh my
Sam Elliott. Yeah.
Ugh.
Good guy. Great guy.
Have you met him?
I just assume so.
Okay, cool. Me too.
So we're going to jump right into some news tidbits, and I'm going to lead that off. First being another Power Rangers film could be in the works. I'm reporting this from Comic Book Resources by a writer named Narayan Liu, just to give everybody credit. So I'm just going to read these off, and then we'll talk about each story as they come along. So Hasbro CEO Brian Goldner recently revealed in a financial call that Hasbro and Paramount Studios are currently discussing a new Power Rangers film. Hasbro, who became the toy licensees for the Power Rangers in 2018, and Paramount have had a long and highly profitable history together in regards to cinema, producing a variety of toy-based live-action feature films ranging from Transformers to G.I. Joe, and together have grossed $5 billion from theatrical releases so far on Hasbro films. The Power Rangers franchise, which adapted the tokusatsu series Super Sentai for American audiences, first began in blah, blah, blah. We all know that. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers in 93, Saban Entertainment. However, Power Rangers, directed by Dean Israelite, was produced like Lionsgate a couple years ago, open to mixed reviews and critics who cited it as an uneven tone, campy elements, and was perceived as blatant product placement as just a few of the film's flaws, which audiences seemed to agree with. The film currently holds a score of 48% on the review aggregate Rotten Tomatoes. Unsurprisingly, Power Rangers performed poorly, blah, 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 blah. The story is longer than I thought. Since then, it has announced that the Power Rangers franchise would be sold to Hasbro for approximately $522 million. That's kind of crazy. Over then the fact that discussions are taking place, there are currently no other details available regarding development or scheduling. So basically, they just released some financial inquiries into whether or not it'd be feasible to make another Power Rangers movie. What do you guys think?
You want me to go first?
More than likely to be a
do
reboot.
it.
Yeah, Andrew, go ahead. You're the Sentai guy, Tokusatsu guy.
So I did read this article, not an article, but I saw this headline. I thought it was fake. So the way you just said that, it seems to be real. So that's cool.
Yeah, seems like they're just preparing for Q1 of the business year or some shit.
Yeah. I mean, with Hasbro taking it over, I mean, who knows how it's going to go, and will it be a totally new thing, or will it be a continuation? Because they did tee it up for the Green Ranger to come in. The thing is, like, this one thing I found out since that movie came out is that this Power Ranger fan base might be small-ish compared to, that Batman fan base, but it's very strong. It's like it's kind of a rabid fan base in a sense. It's like a very niche, like almost like cultish vibe to it. Maybe cult's the wrong word, but strong and
cultural following.
Yeah, they're loud. They're loud when you're around them. Anyway, I'd be excited to see it, of course, but I would like to see them kind of branch out from Mighty Morphin.
Yeah.
It's time to. They already did it. If they want to mix Mighty Morphin series with another series, like one of the more popular one's called RPM. They could do that, or Dino Thunder or something, and choose a tone. Either make a movie that's like the show, or go the other way. Don't mix them. Right. Like I was a fan of that movie, but I do like it said that in that review too. Like, yeah, it was kind of mixed tonally. It was like at times campy and at times, not as campy. And so. I think they need to just choose that, and they're probably going to try to get that Hasbro cinematic universe. That shit's coming eventually, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, Bumblebee did well in China, and it's made a lot of money.
Yeah.
So maybe that'll start things off. I was surprised John Cena didn't say something that was like, I really thought he was going to say like
G.I. Joe oriented.
Or Mask or something even, like.
Oh, right. Yeah, totally.
What would a line cost you? What would a line, just one single line, from his character.
You got to save that Transformers franchise first before you start moving on to this other shit.
That's true.
This is the only good film, in my opinion, out of the Transformers movies.
I know.
There's 6 of them now.
I know.
So.
It's the only good one. But if they mixed Bumblebee with whatever they do with this Power Rangers thing that they got now, and they have what's called Beast Morphers coming out on TV soon, which actually I do like. I've seen a few episodes of the Japanese version of that, and it's pretty cool. It's like, they all have different themes every year, and that's like a sci-fi military theme. So I usually think that theme really works well. So I like that one a lot. And I don't know, man. I think I want to see him do something different. But
yeah, for sure.
That's it.
Definitely.
If they follow the fucking comic. Again, that's super niche, I think, at this point. I mean, I think a lot of people are into that comic.
What company?
Boom Comics. Boom.
Yeah, that's right.
If they made like a shattered grid, and that way they had like all the fucking people in it, at least like as guests or something, that would really like make people lose their shit.
Right.
But I don't know if that'll ever happen. That's There's another comic too that's like. Basically, it looks at Tommy, that Green Ranger. This is kind of a tangent, but it looks at him as like an older Ranger, and basically, it's Logan meets the Green Ranger. It's like it's called like Rise of the Dragon or some shit, and it's just a comic series, but yeah, it's like Tommy from Mighty Morphin as an old dude. What's he doing now? I haven't read it, but people seem to like it.
Old man Tommy.
It's old man Tommy.
That sounds cool. I'm getting tired of watching these fucking teenagers do shit.
Teenagers with attitudes. By the way, I'll stop talking soon. I swear. You got me on this, man.
Yeah, no, I knew that would be a nice, juicy issue for you. What do you think, Matty? How do you feel about a new Power Rangers movie, reboot or otherwise?
I mean, I'm down. The thing I liked about the Power Rangers movie was the very beginning. Like seeing an alien race and look like they're like just becoming Power Rangers. That was way more appealing to me than watching teens, which I know we're probably not going to get that movie. That's fine. That opening scene is fucking sick though. Moving on. I don't care if you want to cast teenagers, but cut that shit short, man. Like, we're all troubled. Done. Got it. Noted. Give us the suits. Another thing. Work on your fucking monsters. Goldar's just a fucking gold mold. It's terrible. And then like the whole end of that movie just fell apart. Like, I was in it. I was like, this is all right. This isn't great, but I'm enjoying what I'm looking at, not being a super fan of Power Rangers. But that end just fell apart. Like the climax of your movie with giant fucking monsters and robots should like look at any Pacific Rim movie, dude. They got it. They got cool fucking monsters. They got cool robots, and they know how to fight. Like, it's been done. You just watch that movie and go, oh, okay, this is how a monster would fight a giant robot. Sick. Let's do it. But I think they really have to work on like getting some of that, not focusing so much on like that whole we're dark teenager shit. Like, it doesn't take that long to set up like their troubled teens. Like, move the fuck on, man. Get them in them suits. Have them fight some putties, dude.
Yeah, that was the problem. That was the problem.
It's just like don't have them fight rock dudes. I mean, you know, CG up some putties. It's cool. I'm down. I don't know, man. It's just that whole last part is like they focus too much on. I don't know. The writer was just like, man, I can write teens really well, but that's about it. Can't write about monsters fighting monsters.
They supposedly
fighting giant robots.
They had like Breakfast Club sides on set. You know, they had like the script on set, like they really wanted to capture the teenage drama side of it was based on the Breakfast Club.
For those who are uninitiated, sides means script pages in the movie biz.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Learn something new every day.
It's like this. It's like the part that's just for your character. Like I got my sides. It means, I got all my lines that I say.
Yeah. Highlighted.
Yeah, basically.
I mean, I'd be fine, but I still, like I said, I think they need to focus on a follow-up to Bumblebee and then focus on a fucking Turtles movie.
Yeah.
Hasbro doesn't own that, though, do they?
No, but I'm just saying, out of all the things I'd like to see that deserve better remakes than... Because, like, look, Power Rangers has a great television series. Like, they have several great television series that you can pull from. You know? It's like Turtles, you got a few cartoons you can pull from. Like, we need some more solid movies, dude. There's only 2.
Yeah,
there's just 2.
That's true. That's true. I
mean, the Turtles talk.
Oh, you have that? They have that teed up too, huh? All right, go ahead, Matt.
No, I don't have anything teed up. I'm just saying we're the Tangent Brothers, and we'll fucking ride a tangent.
That's it. I'm done. I don't need to talk about this anymore. Move on.
Before we move on, last thing, like there's like a couple seasons that they could do. There's one called Lost in Space, or In Space. I mean, Power Rangers in Space, Power Rangers RPM, and there was another one, but yeah, like, dude, seriously, I know it's like super niche, but move away from Mighty Morphin eventually. You got to. All right, I'm done.
Yeah, Mr. CEO of Hasbro, listen to Bush.
Expand the fucking market. Stop focusing on this one fucking thing.
All right. Yeah, for sure. All right, next item up. I don't know how juicy this one's gonna be. I think this one's another clickbait headline. It did come out on a Sunday, after all. or Saturday. Weekends are generally kind of like slow for the internet, it seems. Sundays is like you've already read everything the whole week, so we're just kind of catching up here. That's kind of odd starting on Monday, but fuck it. So this one is the headline here again from Comic Book Resources is Batman, Jack Black wants to play the Penguin by Tom Chapman. With Warner Brothers on the hunt for a new Batman and Oswald Cobblepot tipped to be one of the movie's big bads, fans are hoping to hear some casting news soon. Although actor Josh Gad has expressed his interest in the role, comedian musician Jack Black wouldn't mind waddling onto screens as Penguin. While promoting The House with Clock in its Walls, really complex title for a movie, I think.
Yes.
Last year, the name of the book.
A book, yeah.
It's the name of it, so I'm down.
Yeah, for sure. Black told ET Canada he'd love to join the world of superhero movies. Is there talk of me as Penguin? Are we starting it? He joked. Yeah, that would be a role. That would be fun. However, the Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle star tried not to jinx himself. I mean, I hate to put myself out there and say that because then when I don't get the part, it was like, oh, Jack tried to get the thing. I didn't try anything. I'm just saying maybe that would be good. Black also offered up a pretty perfect version of Burgess Meredith's Penguin chuckle from the ABC's Batman TV series. Penguin is one of the Cape Crusaders' most recognizable villains. The character has appeared in various animations and video games since his creation, was portrayed by Danny DeVito in Tim Burton's Batman Returns. Philip Seymour Hoffman was rumored to be in talks for the role in Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy, but it was sadly a casting that never came to be. That I didn't know. That's pretty interesting. Well, Penguin was originally thought to be the main villain of Kathy Yan's Birds of Prey. It looks like the studio is saving the iconic Batman foe for the Dark Knight's own standalone. Robin Taylor Lord currently plays the character on Fox's Gotham, which will end this year. However, a more comic-accurate version of Penguin is supposedly on the way. Directed by Matt Reeves, The Batman opens in theaters on June 25th, 2021. I'm going to be dead. That's so far away.
It's true though.
Who gives a fuck? Jack Black's gonna be dead. Anyway, Andrew, what do you think about that?
Well, I went first last time, so I think Matty should go on this one.
Oh, sorry. Wait,
what do you think? Are we going to talk about someone else being cast in the Batman, or is
sure? First, what do you think of if Jack Black was cast as the Penguin? And who
I mean, my love runs deep for Jack Black, so man, I think I would like it. I would like to see him do something a little more serious. I feel like he's got it in him. I don't know. I mean, I think he'd be good casting. I think with like the makeup and stuff, the prosthetics he'd have to wear, I think it'd be fine. I don't know though. I don't know. It's weird not knowing like what he's basing this Batman movie off of or anything.
Right.
So like I don't know what like how he's gonna take it. Like, because the last good ones were the Nolan one, so I want to get back to there, you know. But I would like a little more of a comic feel to Batman again. So I don't think he's a good choice if he's going the Nolan route. I think if he's going to lean into more of the comic stuff and have the Penguin be the Penguin, I think Jack Black could be a really cool choice. Just because I feel like most comedians have really good range of seriousness to comedy, and I'd be excited to see what Jack Black could pull off, because I don't think I've ever seen him do anything super serious. So I'd be down. Kong
maybe was like a pretty dramatic role for him, and then he had that.
That's right. He could do that.
String of indies that he had. I think he would be great, you know, and it would really, like what you're saying, depend on the tonality of the film itself. I think if they're going to go darker, you're going to want somebody, maybe, I don't know. He would be a good choice. I think that's all I have to really say about that. How about you, Andrew? What do you think about if Jack Black were?
This is the first time I've heard this. They have talked about Josh Gad doing it, but there's been some speculation about that because they don't know if he's like joking around or what, because he is apparently he is friends with Matt Reeves. Like they hang out, they go to games together or some shit. Yeah. So yeah, and I think Jack Black could do it. I mean, I think he's got a dramatic side to him for sure. There's no doubt about that. Totally, he can do it. Honestly, I don't know who. I mean, yeah, he could. Josh Gad could. I've even heard Jonah Hill. It is true though. It's also. I mean, the broader strokes here is all these rumors are pointing towards Penguin, and and Matt Reeves wants a detective story. So I feel like it's going to be, instead of like a huge. It's going to be a Batman movie, so it's going to be huge. But like for a Batman movie, I think the scale might actually be smaller. This is just my personal speculation.
Possibly.
So, and him wanting a detective movie, that might not even call for huge, like as many action sequences as what you normally get in a Batman movie, for better or worse. Yeah. Actually, I feel like it might even like bore casual fans, while every comic book fan in the world is like, is this the best Batman movie ever? I feel like this is what's going to happen. I feel like it's going to be, mark my words, in 2021 it might be a little bit polarizing, but I can't wait for it. And I don't know, I feel like him talking about the detective side and trying to do a personal take on Bruce Wayne and Batman, I wonder if his influence is Mask of the Phantasm, at least one of his influences, like a main influence. So that's just speculation on my part.
I think a certain aspect of it will have to be like kind of big, blockbustery, bombastic. So hopefully there's like a balance there, and in the same way that Nolan, kind of approached things, but Nolan didn't really hang on the detective stuff quite as much as it sounds like Matt Reeves wants to.
I mean, it's not like The Dark Knight is. I mean, there's action in it, but it's not super action packed. It's not like compared to like Batman versus Superman.
Right.
Even Batman Begins is like, there's action scenes in it that are really well done that make you go, oh man, those are sick action scenes. But there's a lot of talking. There's a lot of character there.
Yeah.
I think it'll be fine. I don't think people will be that upset, because I think you do have to find a good balance of showing us something new that Batman can do, which is what I liked about some of the Snyder stuff. Was like when Batman was in the corner and like moved through that was cool looking. Like when he did that big fight scene that he took on, it's like, oh man, I finally gotten to see Batman take out like 20 fucking dudes in a room. That's sick. But those are like the highlights of that movie, though. So
yeah,
it's like
straight out of the Arkham games too.
And I don't need like a fucking like Arkham Asylum takedown in Matt Reeves' Batman, but I think he's smart enough to know that you need to see Batman doing some Batman-esque ninja shit. You just got to.
Yeah.
And especially with today's technology and what you can pull off with like CG and stuff. I mean, it just doesn't. Why would you waste it? Like, you should at least do one cool scene. Like, have one good action set piece, maybe one other mini action set piece, and then focus on him being a fucking detective for the rest of the movie, dude. Sold. Done. 2021 is going to be great. Good job, Matt Reeves. I already love it.
He said, he said this several times, like, this is going to be a detective story. He said that in multiple interviews. Yeah. And one interview or one article I read, it said something like a good part of the movie is like him just tracking down a criminal. Like apparently might be the Penguin, who knows, but it's like it's this whole tracking process that he has to go through, and you're going to follow that. Again, it's like speculation, but
yeah, that's kind of like the Eduardo Rizzo and what was the guy's name? 100 Bullets guys, the 100 Bullets team. They did Broken City, and that's kind of like the thread that the film followed, was like he's like using all his knowledge as the world's greatest detective to like track one guy who's like being elusive through the whole story or something like that.
I mean, do you think that Matt Reeves is watching like classic detective movies too? I wonder if he's
probably
doing that, 'cause that's what I would be doing.
Reading Agatha Christie, like going back to the source and being like
Humphrey Bogart and whatever the fuck, like classic Hollywood detective shit, and True Detective too. Like mix it all, and the best. Hey DC, hook me up with the best detective stories ever made for
Sherlock
Batman.
Holmes.
Yeah, Sherlock Holmes. Doyle. Yeah, like throw all that in there.
Just watching Luther.
Yeah.
But the thing with that is there's always some kind of showdown. There's always going to be some kind of moment that whatever track he's leading on is going to lead him into something dangerous before he gets to said villain that he's actually tracking. So there's enough, like, while you're detecting, there's enough stuff to happen within that for you to like be like, oh, I've gone to this abandoned warehouse. Oh shit, there's just some thugs here. What? Batman scene. Done. So it's like
DMX starts playing.
Yeah. Everything's in slow motion. It's great. Can't wait.
So anyway, before we leave this news story, what do you guys think of the rumor that Robert Pattinson is being considered for Bruce Wayne of Twilight fame, glittery vampire dude?
You want me to answer that, Matty?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I do. I want you to get it out of your system. I feel like you need to.
Not as much as you think. I think. I mean, yeah. At first, it was my knee-jerk reaction was,
"Fuck that guy."
This is
the
not,
shiny fucking vampire.
This is not good. I'm not liking this. You know, like I get that he's worked with Cronenberg now, and he's not just a Twilight vampire. I get it. And from a producer standpoint, you know, you want to bring in a certain female audience. And honestly, Dracula is an influence on Batman himself.
Yeah, but not fucking Twilight.
I know Twilight's different kind of vampire, but the whole brooding aspect of Bruce Wayne, I think that he's kind of got that in the bag. Can't believe I'm defending this guy, but it's, you know, like I can see, like, and also if I feel like if Matt Reeves likes him and he can pull out the performance he wants from him, then it's pretty much like in Matt Reeves I trust. You know, it's he'll get it done. It'll be fine. Yeah, knee-jerk reaction was bad, but I won't be hating really all that much if he gets picked. It's not a big deal.
Yeah. What do you think, Matty?
I think I kind of had the reaction of like, really? Like, out of all these other actors, but I kind of get what they're doing. He's young. You can cast him in this Batman if they wait 2 to 3 years. It's not like if they cast someone who's a little older, like 40s or something, you know. Right. It's kind of like what you run into. Like, people are like, oh, we want Hugh Jackman back as Wolverine. And Hugh Jackman's like, dude, I'm fucking old as shit, and it's hard to get in that shape, you know? Yeah. It's like, I don't want to do that shit anymore. I mean, I would love to see Huey back as Wolvie, but
Huey.
But I understand. So I think from a standpoint of getting someone who has, like Andrew said, that kind of like sex appeal, that can kind of bring in maybe a different audience to a Batman, which I don't even know like what's what the fuck is the point in that? You have every comic book nerd ever going to see fucking Batman, so it's gonna make a shit ton of money. But like, yeah, I mean, I think I watched this movie called The Rover that he's in. Really good. It's on Netflix right now. It's like a post-apocalyptic kind of thing with Guy Pearce. Super awesome. Kind of a slow burn. Definitely check it out. Like the ending's very cool. I did not see it coming. But he plays like just a crazy dude, and I was like, oh man, he's got some acting chops, and I've seen him in other stuff that I haven't been like, oh, this dude is terrible. So I think he's cool, and I like. And Matt Reeves, you got to trust, man. You just got to be like, if this is, like Andrew said, if this is the guy he wants, then this is the guy for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'd be interested to see some other casting rumors. Sorry, Stefan. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. I thought it was an interesting, I think the knee jerk's just unexpected, like really that guy? But I was like, hey, that's pretty good. An interesting choice. I watched that movie Good Time that he was in.
Yeah.
That wasn't such a great movie. Great soundtrack. 10 Tricks Point Never. Love that shit. But he did turn like a pretty interesting performance in terms of like what you're used to when you think of Robert Pattinson. And I think most people think of the Twilight movies when they do, and not so much like the indie stuff where he kind of did the Daniel Radcliffe thing where he went and did a few indies and stuff. And now he's kind of like, I feel like Daniel Radcliffe is on that thread that Elijah Wood is kind of on now, and maybe Robert Pattinson as well. So it would be I would be cool to see him maybe as a Bruce Wayne, but it would really be the overall kind of like approach to the film itself and the way that they differentiate this Bruce Wayne from the others and what they do with him. But I definitely want to see more surprise suggestions like this. Be like, oh shit, I never thought that guy played, as long as they're not like, trying to cast like Michael B. Jordan or something and be like, okay, we'll bump the brakes.
That was, I don't know where that rumor came from, man.
Yeah. With the Superman thing.
It's crazy. Like, think about this. In this summer, it will still be 2 years away, man. Like,
yeah,
it's like I feel like I don't even want to know that much about it until at least we're a year out.
True. Yeah.
It's just rough knowing that, because Batman, I feel like even after like all the Marvel stuff, I feel like maybe this is my bias, but like Batman's like the most prestigious comic book movie.
Yeah,
like it's like fucking gold standard, like this at the top, the cream of the crop. Maybe Nolan has something to do with that or something. What's next, man?
All right. So that was the fucking today in Batman news. Next up, we had like a little bit of TV news that I thought was interesting. And Matty and I both lived in Chicago, so we're well acquainted with this story in somewhat.
Oh, yeah.
So Leonardo DiCaprio and Martin Scorsese are developing The Devil in the White City as a Hulu TV show. Which I think would be cool. It's been long gestating as a film. This is from Screen Rant. This is from some guy named Mitchell Corner. Thanks, Mitch. Leonardo DiCaprio and Martin Scorsese's long gestating The Devil in the White City adaptation is becoming a TV show for Hulu. The highly acclaimed director-star duo have worked together a total of 5 times now, bringing in some of the biggest success of either of their careers. Scorsese has the anticipated Netflix film The Irishman due out sometime in 2019, and DiCaprio reunites with his Django Unchained director Quentin Tarantino in this summer's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Which I can't wait for. The project has been in production for years now. Tom Cruise first acquired the rights to the book back in 2003, but the studio let the rights lapse in 2004 and again in 2007 due to budget problems. Later, Catherine Bigelow was attached to direct and produce.
Damn, that'd be sick.
She's fucking fantastic. It wasn't until 2010 that DiCaprio said to be fascinated by the novel's subject, nabbed the rights himself. DiCaprio and Scorsese will now find themselves working together once again on this small screen adaptation of Eric Larson's book, The Devil in the White City, Murder, Magic, and Madness at the Fair That Changed America. Whew, that's a big title. According to Variety, it turns out that The Devil in the White City will finally be adapted, but instead of a movie, the project will now be a TV series with DiCaprio set to executive produce alongside Scorsese. It's unknown at this time whether DiCaprio will play a role in the show, as it's yet to be clear if he'll star in the series or simply produce. At one point, I heard he might play H.H. Holmes, which The book is about the story of Dr. H.H. Holmes, a serial killer and the man behind the Murder Castle, a giant torture castle at the 1893 Chicago World's Fair, where he had trapdoors and acid baths and spikes and torture chambers and this, that, you name it. This guy was a psychopath. The Devil in the White City is a sordid tale that takes readers on a tour of murder, romance, and mystery in the Gilded Age. It also is a fascinating and well-told story, one that juxtaposes human cruelty with human ingenuity. So it'll be interesting to see how they bring that to life for sure. The Murder Castle in of itself, something that unless you were being murdered by this man, probably will have never seen.
Yeah, true. It does not exist anymore. They tore that shit down.
Being that we were in the Shy together and we saw this book, every fucking gift store you go into, this book is there. What do you think about the news of it becoming a TV show and it finally getting some legs on it?
I think it's a smart choice for Hulu, since AMC did like The Terror, and I think that did pretty well. And I think if people are kind of into this, like these period piece kind of things. And I mean, God, give Chicago some love, for crying out loud, man. I don't feel like there's enough stuff about it or shot there. So
yeah, that's definitely.
I'm down. I would really like to see DiCaprio still play H.H. Holmes, since it is a limited series. It's not like he's going to have to come back and play this character. And I think it'd be cool because you do see some bigger actors kind of take these, like, I know I just watched the trailer for Hulu's Catch-22, and it's like produced, directed, and stars George Clooney. So there's no reason DiCaprio couldn't come in and be like, I want it to be this way, because him to play H.H. Holmes, even though I've just read about or watched documentaries about H.H. Holmes, and I think he could bring a really cool, just like, I don't think I've ever seen DiCaprio be like a super creeper like that. Like, I mean, he was really bad in Django Unchained for sure. You know, he's a piece of shit. But it would be cool to see him play a different kind of villain, a more like,
definitely,
you know, more like Jack the Ripper type,
maniacal.
Yeah, and this guy also, H.H. Holmes, he also was like one of the first people to figure out how to figure out check fraud and stuff. Like, he did a lot of shady shit. Like, he murdered people, but he also did a lot of illegal shit and bounced around a lot. So he's a pretty interesting fellow, even though he's terrible. But I think it's cool. I'm glad it's finally seeing the light of day. I think it makes sense to make it like a limited 8-episode series instead of a 3-hour movie that people are gonna be like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah,
because it's like, it's about the World's Fair too, which, I mean, some people are probably gonna be more interested in the serial killer side of it. Also, everyone loves a serial killer, dude. Look at Netflix, man. That serial killer section's ridiculous, dude. Come on.
True crime is huge now, man.
Yeah, true crime. As soon as I get on Netflix, it's like 5 new true crime shows. I'm like, Jesus Christ, man.
I forget what I heard it in, but some character in some movie or something was talking about how like it's an American trait to like worship serial killers or like infamous killers in general, from gangsters to, you know, like these fascinating tales of like John Wayne Gacy and Ted Bundy and stuff. We have a way of like celebrating that. And that in whatever I was watching, I think it was a movie or documentary or something, it was like, it must've been a documentary, but basically being like, it's a very American thing to like uphold these like killers to a certain degree.
I feel like we just have a whole lot of them. I mean, I feel like England does that too, to a certain degree, like with Jack the Ripper and Bronson, although he didn't kill anybody, but it's a famous criminal at least.
Yeah. I will say I also am pretty excited to see the Torture Castle.
Murder Castle?
Murder Castle, because it's never, you just hear about their rooms, and you know, I think in like a documentary I watched, they tried to like recreate it, like and I think there might be like one photo of it from before it was like torn down, just like as a, I don't know, like maybe like a surveyor took it or something, but it's not like the inside of it. So it's going to be really cool having, you know, Hulu being able to throw money at it, plus Scorsese and DiCaprio being able to have that money as well to like kind of, you know, I really want to see it like done up like Del Toro style, like Crimson Peak style. You know, it's just like everything's like ornate and looks really cool, and probably not the way it looked, but that's okay. Embellish a little bit. But I'm super stoked.
Yeah. I know nothing about it really, other than the podcast I listened to about it of H.H. Holmes, and I think I forgot most of it because I listened to so many fucking podcasts. But yeah, I mean, look, it sounds cool, and if you did a check. You said she did check fraud, so that actually has a connection to fucking the that other DiCaprio movie from back in the day.
Catch Me If You Can.
Catch Me If You Can. Yeah, Catch Me If You Can. It's all about that. So kind of a stretch, but still a fun connection, I guess. I don't know.
Sick.
Hell yeah. So anyway, that does it for news this week. We pretty much ate up a bunch of time talking about that stuff. Good job, guys. We kick ass.
We're good at it.
So I just want to move on to the next little thing, and I think everybody here has seen the Aladdin teaser, the new footage from the Aladdin with the genie reveal, Will Smith's blue ass genie. And hopefully most of you all saw it out there. It's kind of like, if you're on social media and you like movies, I pretty much assume that you've seen it by now.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'll just say, he looks weird for sure. I think it looks weird, but we're so used to the Robin Williams thing. I'm kind of on a questionable relationship with Will Smith. Sometimes I think he's really great. Other times I think if they wouldn't have cast him in Suicide Squad, they would have had more room to make it a better movie. And maybe not just his fault on that one, but sometimes he's kind of annoying. But it's cool to see that like the main characters in the film besides him are like of Arabic descent. I feel like I kind of look like the Aladdin guy. So hopefully it's good and people you look like Aladdin, and I'll be like, cool, thanks. And Aladdin was probably one of my favorite. I mean, it's a lot of people's favorite. For me, it was like one of the ones that like stood out because I guess I felt like identified with the character somewhat because of how he looked, and I really liked that. So it'll be really cool to see, And the other thing is Guy Ritchie directed this, and I can't stand Guy Ritchie's movies for the most part. So it'll be interesting. They basically paid him to do a live action carbon copy. So the Cave of Wonders, I'm there. The fucking carpet, I'm there. And I think the genie looks really creepy, but that might be part of the fun. What do you guys think?
You want this, Matty? Go ahead.
Sure, I can go ahead. I think it looks like trash. I have no desire to see this movie. I just think the overall film looks bad. Like it just doesn't look. I don't know. Why the fuck are we even doing this? God,
because it makes so much money.
Yeah, but it's like out of all the shit they could be adapting that could be better, or I don't know. It's like, what are you going to improve on in Aladdin? That animated movie's great. What?
Yeah.
What the fuck are you going to add to it? Also, I think Will Smith just looks weird. I mean, he looks like a classic, like the way you would draw a genie or see a genie in a book. So that's fine. I don't know, man.
It's almost too real. It's like when people take like Pokemon and do like those really hyper real digital paintings of them. It's like, it's interesting to see, but you don't know if you want to see it for very long.
Yeah, I don't think I want to see this movie at all, though. I have no desire to see it. I mean, I'm interested in the Lion King one if we're talking about Disney stuff, just because that makes sense, man. Just animate some animals. Sick, done. This just, I don't know, man. Yeah. I mean, it'd have to be like a fucking like 90% on Rotten Tomatoes to get me to go see this shit on.
I probably won't go see it in the theater.
Watch it, get that score.
Yeah.
But I watched the Beauty and the Beast one, and I was like, what the fuck was the point in this? This is exactly like the fucking animated cartoon.
Dude, people just want to see a new version of the same shit. Yeah.
It's like with us with games, like they do so many remakes, and sometimes you're like, why are they doing that? And we're like, oh my God, it's so fucking great. That's just what it is.
But it's
restamping it. That's the world we live in.
But it's not making it better. I mean, I get Resident Evil 2 remake. Like, man, those graphics are sick. It's really hard to play this game because I don't have a fucking PlayStation 1 anymore to play it. Yeah. That makes sense. I get that. But to make a movie that you can easily access at any point, I guess if Disney puts in the vault, maybe not. I don't know how it works on digital with Disney.
Vault shit, man.
But I don't know. I just don't think it looks good. I don't know, man.
But I'm looking forward to the Alan Menken songs. It's going to be the same songs, but they'll hopefully be like new orchestral versions of those songs. And I really love the music in Aladdin. Again, I'm really looking forward to see the main characters of Arabic descent do their thing on big screen. It's a pretty diverse film, even though it might be ridiculous. And I am just, even if it's a train wreck, I'm super interested to see how this Will Smith genie plays out. They'll probably play it safe. I don't quite know what that means, even I'm saying it, but it seems like it's tough. It's tough. It's a tough lamp to fill.
Oh my God! Here we go.
He ain't no Robin, I'll tell you that.
Robin, R.I.P. But Will Smith stepped up to the plate and he's like, I could do a genie. He's a very charismatic guy. So one thing I hope they do mix in a little bit of hip hop flavor with the old genie songs. And I know a lot of people are going to hate that, but the old genie songs were a little more like loungy and kind of, Sinatra-y. But I hope they get the Fresh Prince up in this bitch a little bit.
You were fucking excited for this shit, man. You can't wait for Aladdin.
I'm a little.
Oh my god!
We have discovered
so
excited about Stefan.
He's so fucking giddy right now. Look at that smile.
Oh my god!
The Cave of Wonders is going to be dope. It's going to be all CG, but it's going to be dope. Anyway,
there's no way it's not CG.
I'm excited about it in a way that I know I'm not going to see it on, like in the theaters probably, unless somebody's like,
you're this excited about it, but you're not going to see it in the theater.
Nah, I don't think it warrants an in-theater viewing. I'll watch it at home sometime and just out of curiosity, and then get really stoned and freaking watch it in my lone.
I feel like we're excited about it, but I'll see it on a matinee at least.
I feel like we have to see it now. I feel like we have to see it now and review it though. Stefan's so excited.
Movie of the year.
Prediction. I think that when they released that image and I guess the trailer, it was weird for me, but at the same time, we all knew that he was a genie, and we've seen him non-blue.
I didn't because I didn't care.
Oh, okay. Well, and there was pictures released of him as not blue, and I guess it was just like it was pretty much what I was expecting. Like you couldn't go too cartoony because that would be even weirder somehow.
Made his eyes bigger.
Yeah, the eyes bigger. That would be strange, man. That would be like, I don't know, some weird uncanny valley shit or something.
Yeah, there is another photo of him kind of floating towards Aladdin and pointing at him.
Yeah,
that was like an entertainment magazine or something, or is coming out in it or whatever. And that one, again, it still looks creepy for sure. It looks almost too hyper real. Like it's kind of like what Matty was saying, like going back to like, why are we really doing this? Like we've created a monster kind of thing, but.
To connect to Power Rangers conversation, Jasmine actually is the Pink Ranger from that 2017 movie.
Yeah, that's right.
And I don't think that she's of Arabic descent, but
she's not.
I don't think so. I think she's just white. But main Aladdin dude is of Arabic descent, and I don't know. I think it's no surprise that whenever am I showing up on the big screen when I talk?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I am. Okay, it's not on my end. Okay. I think that kind of lost my train of thought here, guys.
You were saying how much you love.
We were all obviously boys growing up, and you just relate to movies like Aladdin or Lion King more than Little Mermaid or Beauty and the Beast. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like those were our Disney movies, and I must have watched Aladdin. I feel like I liked Aladdin maybe more than Lion King at the end of the day, but I did like Lion King a lot. Aladdin and Goofy movie are like the top, and like those. I didn't really like the music in Disney movies that much growing up, but I did like those okay, and I'm excited to see what they do with that.
Alan Menken, he wrote the music for Newsies.
Oh, really?
And
so
some other stuff.
Yeah, man. I'm not as excited as Stefan, but
I'm not that excited about it.
I'll see it. I don't mind seeing it. Is Apu gonna be CG?
I couldn't tell from the trailer. It was so quick though, but I am very excited to see little spider monkey shenanigans.
Apu. Who's voicing Iago?
Yeah, I wonder if he'll talk or if they're gonna go like super realistic and just have him like steal keys from the Sultan or some shit.
It should just be what's his name again?
Bobcat.
Godfrey.
Yeah,
dude, he has a fucking podcast. That fucking voice for an hour. Can you believe it?
Yeah,
it's nuts, and it's supposedly kind of popular.
Nice. I always like the guy. I saw a couple of his stand-up sets from back in the day. He's pretty funny too.
It's just shock humor and shit.
What was it? Never mind. I was gonna go on a whole thing about something he said at a roast, but I don't remember the whole joke. But he's funny. Anyway, before we head out of here, Matty, did you want to say anything about The Man Who Killed Hitler and Then the Bigfoot, starring Sam Elliott?
Yes.
Cake.
Yes.
Yes. It has a 73 on Rotten Tomatoes, I think, right now, currently. I will say, if you're interested, you watch the trailer and like, this is the movie for me. See it. If you watched it and went, I don't know about this, don't watch it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very niche movie. I was super into it until the face-off event occurs. Mm-hmm. And I was not very pleased with the way they handled it. It takes a very... So the movie, you find his old man, he regrets doing what he did, even though Hitler deserved it. Because he never wanted to kill anybody. He feels really bad about that, and he just hates it. Basically, now the government's like, yo, we got to have you go kill Bigfoot, because Bigfoot is like spreading this disease in this section of Canada. And if you don't, we're going to have to nuke it. Because it's killing all the wildlife.
This sounds like a crazy movie, man.
Yeah, so I actually thought it really looked cool. So
I think you should watch it. I just think that there's a point where it's like it kind of follows the same beats, and then for 10, 15 minutes, it goes off the rails and becomes like this B gore movie. And it's like, what the fuck? Like, it matches none of the tone. And then like the last half of the movie gets so convoluted in the stuff it's trying to wrap up from the beginning of like the love he lost, but not really explaining what happened to her. And it's like Brock, my roommate, put it the best. He's like, this movie would have been better if it was just titled The Man Who Killed Hitler, and how it is to like live with that.
Yeah,
and like be like this hero within the community, but not feeling like a hero because that was your only job, was to track Nazis and find out where the actual Hitler was and kill him, while your friends were fighting on the front lines day in and day out. And this was your only job, which is like a cool story. And he like brings up like Project Valkyrie and like because apparently there have been 3 Hitlers. He killed the original Hitler. Then they get a second Hitler to come in, and that's the Project Valkyrie one.
Yeah.
Because they actually end up killing him at Project Valkyrie, which is in history says he was not killed. They didn't even get close to killing him. Like maybe wounded him or something. And then the third Hitler is the one that died in the bunker. And I think Sam Elliott's character says because he was a coward or something like that. And so it's like a fun, like all that stuff is so much fun, dude. And then when you get to the Bigfoot portion, it just is not as fun as it should be, because you set up this very serious tone about a guy who's really wrestling with the fact that he murdered a man.
Mm-hmm.
And like how that weighs on you over time. And like, it would just like, it's super serious. And then all of a sudden it's like Bigfoot time, B-gore movie. And you're like, what the fuck, man? The tonal shifts. Just like, it does not work.
Tacked it on just for cult film purposes.
I don't know if Sam Elliott read like a different script and the Bigfoot makeup is like, so Bigfoot in it doesn't look like the Bigfoot that we know. He's kind of emaciated because he is diseased, which is kind of cool. Like, you know, if you don't have the effects people working on to make a sick ass Bigfoot, then this makes sense. But then they've like CG'd his eyes. It's fucking weird, dude.
Is this a Netflix movie?
No, you can just rent it through like I think we rented it on Vudu, but Brock's a huge fan of Sam Elliott, like everyone should be. He's a great actor.
Yeah.
And it's just like hearing a movie title like that, like for me, I'm intrigued.
Sign me up, baby.
Yeah. The longer the title, the more I want to see that movie, dude.
Oh, wow.
But it is a very tongue twister of a title, but I'd say if you're interested, watch it. It's definitely worth $7. I mean, I can't go see a movie for $7 in the theater right now unless I go before 11 a.m. So that's not a big deal to me. It's like, $7. It was worth the $7 for sure for the rental. But it's just, I think it missed a lot of marks towards the end in doing the Bigfoot stuff. I think it could have ended way differently. And like even Brock and I went on this huge rant about how we would have done this whole scene differently. And we even rewatched the showdown a second time. And the whole time I was like, dude, I don't want to watch this. This is like, it's almost like I made the movie and I'm judging myself. It's like I felt bad for it. I was like, oh,
you felt like it made mistakes you would have made?
No, I would not have made these mistakes. I just feel like it's like if I was like showing this to friends, like something I made, I'd be like, why the fuck did you do that? That was an idiotic move. Now seeing it on the big on this projector screen, this was a terrible idea. Why did I do this? I just felt bad for him. You know that, like, you ever watch something, or I don't know, like sometimes you might introduce someone to something, you just have that weird gut feeling that you're like, oh my God, they're gonna hate this. I just felt bad for everyone who worked on it. I was like, this is the best you could do with Sam Elliott, for Christ's sakes. Come on.
Yeah.
I think it's a fun watch, though. I definitely, if you're interested, watch it. Matt Herring asked me what I thought, and I'm pretty interested to see what he thinks. I'd also be interested in the Superhouse crew on what they think. Because it is an interesting movie. It's only an hour and 37 minutes. Brock was telling me it's an hour and 15. I was like, sick, man, in and out. This movie's going to be. But they really could have made an hour and 15-minute long movie and been a lot better. They need to edit some shit. Yeah. But I love the stuff with the Hitler stuff in it. It was so good, man. Because I like that, spy espionage kind of like behind enemy lines by yourself type of movie.
Right.
Trying to pull off the impossible. I love Mission Impossible so much. Any of those movies, like the Project Valkyrie movie, like I like it just because that existed and people tried to do that. That's like, so this was like, I love that aspect of the movie, and I wish they would have focused more on that and maybe just cut out the Bigfoot stuff, or maybe not made it so, I don't know, just dude, I don't know, just I need more people to watch this movie and see how they feel about it.
Yeah,
but that's my 2 cents.
It caught me off guard, but I thought the trailer looked good. So,
yeah, I was super stoked, man. So, but I just think it. I would still like, out of Indeeds, I would give it 6 out of 10 Indeeds. If Indeed still exists in the Superhouse.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what I would give it, because I think it's a solid enough, and like Sam Elliott gives a great performance. The guy who plays younger Sam Elliott also is really great, and I could have just watched a movie about him going on the adventure to kill Hitler. But Sam Elliott's always a good choice, but it's cool. Turn up the volume. Sam Elliott kind of does the Sam Elliott talk, and it's hard to hear him sometimes.
Cool. Well, that was awesome.
Travels.
The review this week. I'm not going to say the whole title. Man Who Killed Hitler. ... That's Superhouse Live for this week. Thanks for joining us. We're still working out the technical aspects of how we're going to present this, but in my mind's eye, there's a way that it's great. So we're going to get there. It's going to take some trial and error, but come along for the ride. These are what our faces look like. And do you guys have anything to say before we head out?
No.
No. Matty's good.
Negatory, good buddy. Negatory.
I'll say all right, I have to say.
Stay tuned to the Superhouse Live page for updates on what we're doing and how we're doing it. This is Wolfie signing off. Love y'all.
Just Matty. Bye-bye.
Andrew signing off.